Hello and welcome everyone. This is your girl Halima and I welcome you to this yet another episode of our amazing show TIG Agenda here at UBC Radio. Today we are going to have a discussion about language and identity, and we are going to appreciate that language is just not about the words, but it is the mirror that focuses our identity, brings us back to our family roots, but most importantly, identifies us on what we can pass on today and our future generation. We are blessed with a very amazing panel that is going to be giving us insights of how language and identity are key and paramount to reviving the glory of our family today, but most importantly, our communities in general. I'll begin with the gentleman over here, Mr. Alvin. You're most welcome. Alvin is a student of industrial art. We are glad to have you at the show.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Over on the other end is Miss Benana Juma. She is a senior procurement officer and also a transformation growth coach. Miss Bena, you're most welcome.
Thank you.
And on my left, we have our Miss Tourism West Nile, Queen Shamaira. We are pleased and honored to have you on the show.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. And lastly, we have Miss Precious, who also is a journalist and media student. Miss Precious, you're most welcome.
Thank you so much, Halima.
Yeah. So, as I earlier on said, we're going to be discussing language and identity. Here at TIG Network, we appreciate glorifying or reviving the glory of family. So we think language and identity are core to this. So we'll begin with Precious.
Yes.
What do you think is identity on a personal level? How would you explain to someone out there?
Well, on a personal level, identity is the way of expression, values, and belief. Just like you said earlier, we're looking at identity and language. So language is one key of identity, because identity, it being a fact of how you perceive things and what you believe in, this creates a different world to different individuals. That is why my identity is not Alima's identity. So in short, identity is a way of expression, what you believe in, what characterizes you, and your values.
Okay, thank you very much. Miss Bernard, do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, thank you, Precious. Identity is who we are. I can give an example. If I have my ID, it identifies me. It has my name, it has my age, it has my background, it has my country of origin. That is, in simple terms, identifying who I am. Then I would also, in understanding who we are, I want the youths out there, people in the audience, to understand the different personality traits that we do have. They identify who we are. Me, I'm a sanguine. Okay, I may first tell you what they are. They are 4 personality traits. Some people are sanguines, some people are cholerics, some people are melancholic, some people are pragmatic. Those are different personality traits that make us different.
Yeah.
And understanding...
We all understand this word.
I'm going to explain.
Okay.
Yeah, so the sanguines are the people who are talkative, jolly, happy. When they come in the room, you know that someone is there. They can't leave the room minus you noticing who they are.
Okay.
So after my talking here, we shall identify a little bit of those, and we know who we are. Then the melancholic type are those people who like to be on schedule. They don't want to bend things. They want to be too straight of how things were. Then we also have the cholerics. Cholerics is a personality trait identifying with people who want to be leaders. They want to head, they want to be bossy. So when you, that's a trait that some people have, and it identifies who they are. Okay. Then there are people who are phlegmatic. those ones are shy. So you identify that there are different personality traits, and in understanding who we are, we could have a mix of either 2 or 3 or 1. Or all. But there is always one that is dominant. Understanding who we are, I also went ahead and tried to search, who is me? I already know who I am, but in that aspect, does that correspond with who I am? I noticed that me, I have 2. I am a sanguine and I'm also a melancholic.
Okay.
Yes, so when you look at my traits, I can be excited, I can be happy, but also on the other side, I can be serious. And that is who I am.
Quiet.
When my neighbor here could also have a different, if they examine who they are deeply into those different traits, you understand that, you find out that they have a different, unique one. And in understanding identity and language, we don't want to overshadow who we are, because the way we are shapes our beliefs, makes us unique. Even in God creating us, He made us so different that we serve one another. You see how Queen is shining in that color.
Oh,
Yeah.
You see how Precious is. You see our moderator. You see this gentleman right here. We all different, but we shall serve our different purposes. So when we talk about identity, we do not want to dilute it. We want to just be who we are and serve in that aspect.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was great. I've learned something from the 2 presentations. She majorly speaks about the personal aspect, like the personal identity, and I think Miss Precious here spoke about the social aspect, the social identity. I think both are very important. Are there other types of identities that do exist, because we want to incorporate all of them into community and how it is a fundamental aspect?
Well, Alima, if I'm to add something on what she just said, you can have different images, but you've got one identity. Just like she said, she can be sanguine and melancholic as well. Yeah. So those are different images, and these images appear to different people. Well, I can say when I'm at home, I'm very jolly, I'm very funny, I'm very noisy, I'm very stubborn when I'm at home. So that is an image that my family members have. So when I move to a different place or an environment, I've got another image. But then my identity is that person inside me that I alone know. And no one else can get to know your identity apart from you. So we can talk about identity looking at the tribe, maybe looking at the language, looking at the society we're coming from. That can define our identity. But deep inside us, there is a human being that I, Precious, alone knows, because I will show different images to different environments.
In other words, you're meaning uniqueness. There is a unique aspect about
a unique
you that
person.
You can't be me, you can't be him, you can't be her.
But we can have the ability to have the same identity, if I am getting it right.
We can have
according to her.
Okay, if we are all coming from Uganda, we can identify with our country.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That is our identity,
Yes.
but not our personality, not who we are.
That is
are
different
unique.
from the image.
Yeah.
Okay, Alvin,
Yes,
in
please.
regard to what the discussion is on, is language considered? Why do you think language is considered a unique aspect? Because a unique aspect or fundamental aspect in identity.
Well, thank you so much. From my perspective, I look at language as a very, very important fundamental tool in identifying who we are.
Okay.
Because this is the only way that we get to express who we have, first of all, expressing our emotions, expressing our thoughts, our ideas.
Yeah.
And you realize that this is the only code that we use, all right, in personal standouts that nothing else can replace, all right? Looking at me, where I come from, I am a Langibai tribe, by the way. I grew up in a society where people didn't really speak much English, all right? Mm-hmm. So back then, my grandmother told me stories in my local language, all right? Okay. And these are stories that really got stuck in my mind. I've read a lot of books, but these stories, I've never seen them written anywhere. And most of the stories, like most of the books that I've read, I've forgotten most of the paragraphs. But because she spoke to me in our local language, I still remember a lot of things. So making language a very, very important tool in identifying who we are.
Okay, thank you very much. I love that you did speak about education, and that is going to bring me to our queen in the room. Yeah, so when we speak about tourism, we speak diversity. And when it is diversity, definitely culture is part of it.
Yeah.
So, in your context, do you think education has, in a way, hindered the identity of our children?
Yes, it has.
Okay.
In a way that I went to school, and speaking your local language was known as vernacular. And if they get you speaking vernacular,
You're punished.
You're punished, and you're okay. They used to have this too big bone, but then it used to smell.
It was rotten.
Yeah, the rotten bones. Cutting now, they make you wear the bone, and you have to work with it until you find another person speaking vernacular. Then you'll be like, aha, I've gotten you speaking vernacular. Then you hand over the bone. So I feel like education has really hindered our native language, and yes, it has.
It has.
Yeah.
Is there anything that the education system can do about that?
Yeah, teaching both native and the Western language is really an aspect they can consider. Then also creating up language camps, reading books in their native language to them, like from childhood till I think some certain age. Yeah, I think they can do that.
Okay. There are very many cases where you see the controversy of we need to understand English, because today to be educated is to actually know English and everything in the Western.
Yes, true.
tribe.
I interacted with a Pakistan person, and trust me, they know both English and their language.
Okay.
Yes.
And that is not happening here?
No, in a way that some people like
Do you not know your
Precious,
language?
like Miss Precious, just like I don't know Luganda.
I'm Uganda.
But you're in Buganda.
I am in Buganda, but
Yes.
I don't even know my local language. So
You get.
how will I know Luganda?
You get
Okay,
it.
Precious, if I may, which languages are you well covered that with?
Well, I speak Kiswahili, I speak French, I speak Lingala and English.
And you're from?
I'm from DRC.
And you do not know
And I did not know Luganda.
your language?
And I didn't know my language. Well, I can say in Africa, we don't really value our languages, which is actually very wrong. And this is because our languages are not valued in schools. Because if you are to speak your language and then you're being punished for speaking who you are, it's actually something very wrong. Yet I remember in high school, whenever they brought English questions, they were like, if you want to understand this question better, understand it in your own language, because that is who you are. When you get to understand it in your local language, you'll be very able to answer the questions. But then our languages are not being given value in our own countries. If you're to go to Congo, we speak French. If you speak Kiswahili, you'll be flogged, you'll be punished, which is really killing our identity. And this is something that is not actually good when it comes to the education system in Africa.
Okay, has that in a way like affected you, like your general day-to-day life? Do you think you have an initiative upon yourself to maybe learn your local language?
Well, it has affected me so much. Why? Because there was a time I went to the village, but I could not speak. I could not understand. And some people will say you're showing off. Why you're just speaking French? You cannot understand what they say. They can actually not teach you anything, because how will you interact when you're not understanding one another? So what I would say is we should have language activism.
Okay.
We should have
That is
these bigger
new.
conferences. Okay, learning who we are, because tradition is what makes us human. Because if I don't know what we practice, I don't know what we believe in, I'm living in a world of confusion. I don't know what the Western culture says. I just know maybe a 10% of it. And then when it comes to my culture, I know nothing, so I'm a confused person in this world. What stories can I tell if I don't understand who I am? So we really have to learn who we are, and this is by learning our languages, because through our languages, we'll be able to interact and get to know more about life, about our past, our present, and how we can build our future.
Yeah, thank you very much, Precious. That was a good one. You're making an initiative towards learning your language?
Of course.
Okay, we'll get to that later. So, Alvin, in your understanding, what do you think families are doing differently that is limiting access, or rather is causing identity crisis amongst our children and the youth in general?
Well, I think our parents, all right, outside there, they really want children to catch up with the new trend of the world, because looking at the education system, things are changing each and every day. So parents don't want children to remain behind from that lane. And you find like at home, parents only speak to children these days in English, because they want to make these children understand the English language better than the local language where they really come from. And this has it has really affected. You find that a child, when he goes back to the village, like she said, she cannot communicate with their grandmother, like their grandparents, I mean.
Yeah.
And this brings a lot of gap between the relationship between the parents and, between the children and their roots, all right? And you find that one mistake that parents are really doing outside there, I would advise them to let these children speak their local language, all right? Teach them how to call a spoon, teach them how to call a jerry can, teach them how to, even me, I don't think I remember how to call certain things in my local language. Because where I come from, we have, there is that stonge, like there are two categories, right? Like our language is divided into two. You find like there is a local language that I grew up knowing, but there's also another more indigenous terms and words used to call certain things, all right? And these are things that I wasn't taught, all right? So you find like when I go back down deep to my roots, my grandparents may communicate a phone by using a different word, and I don't understand, all right? And you find this kind of communication gap getting in.
Okay,
right?
For cases where, you'll forgive me, for cases where you do not know the staunch, because you see, I'm also Amsoga, by the way, but in as much as I am proud and I do know the language, there are those very staunch words, conk, that I may not get. Does that in a way make me like limit the fact that I can identify myself?
Not basically. But looking at the aspect of like getting back to our roots, I guess there is no need of partially getting back to our roots. We have to get back to our roots fully.
Yeah.
All right. And this is very, very important, okay?
Okay. Okay, thank you very much. But I will ask, let's talk about the modern youth today and how they are creating languages. People are very passionate about learning these languages. Do you think it's actually advantageous? Is it a good thing to learn these new languages outside the local language?
Yeah.
in regard to identity?
Yeah, in regards to identity and these other different languages, I would say that it's very key that someone understand the origin. If I'm a Muganda, I should appreciate my language. I should appreciate Luganda and all the cultural aspects it has to give me. Because you guys, when you also talked about way back in school, when we are young here, we are taught Luganda. We are taught Luganda alongside English. We don't learn only English. We learn the different subjects that we go through, and you study Luganda and you study English. But along the way, as you are advancing, yes, the lower primary as well. I appreciated this so much. And that's where I learned my basic Luganda, like the writing. The speaking, I'm okay. But there is a level of the written and those other expressions that along the way, maybe I did not overtake, because in aspiring in the education system here, we went so much of the English. But right now at my level, my perspective is really different. I really appreciate that it's key that the young people, all of us, we take our own origin, our identity, our culture very serious, because I personally have learned English. I've also pursued the Dutch language. The Dutch is the German. So understanding the Germans also, I've got to appreciate that they value culture, that for you to work in their country, for you to work in München, for you to work in Berlin, one of their requirements is you should know the language.
Yeah, that is true.
So what does that make me believe? It makes me believe that if they value theirs, I should value mine.
Yeah.
And I'm bound to tell my children that do not neglect, because in this era, just like you asked me, some people might think our local languages are outdated. They might think that you don't need them. You need them because when you see other people holding their values so tightly, you can't lose yours, because that's identity. We don't want to lose who we are, so we have to appreciate. And we see that even when the young people take on the different slangs, the different aspects of language, people are taking on Chinese. Precious said she wants to add on Chinese. I really appreciate. And one of the things that we are going to gain out of it, that we shall know our values and hold them so dearly, because we know that they've kept us and preserved our heritage. And also when we learn the other international languages, it will take us global. Ideally, that's why I took on Dutch, to learn the Dutch language, German. It's because I want to be global. If I want to speak on international conferences, I want to be able to express myself in the other languages. So it is very okay to know Chinese. It's very okay to know Germany. It is very okay. Actually, it's called Dutch. It's very okay to know French. It's very okay to go to know Swahili and all of those things, but to hold yours so tightly, because even in learning these other international languages, we've come to know that they ask you, how do you do things in your country? They want to identify with you. They really want to appreciate what you hold as values. They don't want you to lose yourself in another identity, but they want you to appreciate who you are. So how about us? It is a wake-up call that, guys, come on. We learned English. It has taken us to another level. But who we are is very important, because it holds a lot of good indigenous values.
Okay, thank you very much, Bena. I love the fact that you spoke about the lower primary.
Yes.
Personally, I also did some Luganda and Lusoga in lower primary. I think it helps us better relate actually English and the local language.
And even the drama. There was a lot of drama that brings it clear that however much we pursued the English language,
I think we still have that in MVD
drama,
of nowadays.
The poems, we could do that, and it made us learn a lot of our culture and language. We could have Lusoga, Acholi dances and all of that.
Everything. I think that is also part of embracing identity.
Yes, it is.
Any chance, Precious, you had that?
Well, we did. Okay, the only difference between Uganda and Congo is we speak French, you speak English, but then even in school we learned Kiswahili. we used to learn Kiswahili, but it was a burden to me. It was actually very hard. Why? Because the focus was on French. And there is no way we can develop our countries if we're not speaking who we are. You're speaking someone else in your country, of course you have that mentality of that person, because our language influences what we think. So there is no way I can think in French and think I will develop Congo. There is no way I can think in English and think and I feel like I will develop Uganda. That is why even when you're cracking jokes, like when you're having fun, it is so funny when you're speaking Luganda. When I see Ugandans speaking in Luganda, the conversation sounds so funny and people have fun. When I'm speaking Kiswahili, I can speak anyhow. And that is why you come to see that vulgar words in our languages, there is no way you can speak them out, but you can speak in English what you cannot speak in Luganda maybe, and what I cannot speak in Kiswahili, because that is who you are. I don't know whether it happens sometimes, because in Kiswahili, the vulgar words I can speak in English, I cannot say that in Kiswahili because I feel like it's too much, so I cannot bring it out, and it's very heavy. So
attachment.
That brings, I think, talks about cultural dignity and preservation. Yeah, which is a very beautiful thing. We're going to be having a short break, and when we return, we'll delve into the cultural diversity, cultural dignity, most importantly, and how family can help us implement this identity crisis and stopping it. Thank you very much. We'll be right back. Welcome back to this second part of our amazing show. We are discussing language and identity and how they help us shape our day-to-day life, but most importantly, how they will help us pass through the next generation or future. In the first half, we discussed how identity looks like, how language has helped us in recognizing our identity. And with you, Queen Shamaira, I will ask, can someone fully understand their cultural identity without necessarily speaking their language?
Itie nenedi. Nyinga aweko ni Mungu. You get it? So, by the time I say Itie nenedi, she has already gotten that, okay, she's from West Nile. Yes.
Okay.
And West Nile is like bird. I'm from Pakwach, Jonam meaning the land. Yes. And I think Mr. Alvin, right?
Yes.
As a Langi, I feel like you can get it.
Yeah, I can get you very well.
So our identities are a bit not so, how they call it, so part away, part away from him. Now when I say iti nining, there's after actually, right? You get it. So it's really so nice if we embrace our culture, and it's so easy for you to understand that I'm from West Nile.
Okay, without you, I want you to tell me you're from West Nile without speaking the language. Is that possible? Do you think it's possible?
How? How would you? Because
Precious, you have something to say?
It's not possible.
Really?
Yeah.
well, I can say your character can tell you're Muganda without speaking Luganda. Because I can say when I was in Congo, we could identify Ugandans even when they were silent. The way they look, the way they act, it is far different from how Congolese act. And even here in Uganda, I can know this guy is a Congolese. Why? Because Congolese are this kind of people that want to be very smart. They want to wear chains, watches, golden things, such. They're always wearing what you call the Ankara, what people call Bitenji, Kikwembe. So like the way of dressing can identify the garments thing you dress, can identify this is a Muganda. Your way of dressing the Munyankole, you can know this is a Munyankole. Your face can show you a Munyankole even before you speak. Sometimes you can have confusion
I think
because
that is relative.
yeah.
Alvin has something to say.
I'm talking about that. I remember when I first came to Kampala, it was really, really rough, my dear.
Yeah.
Like, whoever looked at me thought I was a Muganda. All right.
Yes,
Some
okay.
guy came and were like, Sebo Jeba, like, I had nothing to say. I just kept quiet. Like, a lot of my friends, they mistake me for being someone who comes from Western. But then when I speak the language, they get confused. So looking at me, the way I look, it may not directly tell where I come from. It may not directly tell where I originate until I speak my language. That's when someone will actually know. I remember when I met someone like who is from Lira. It was my first time. I used to think Kampala here we don't have like people who are from Northern. But when I met that guy, I felt so relieved. I felt like I had someone whom I could inquire from. All right. So that made it very, very like I started enjoying the environment of where like I had to come to. So using looking at someone the way they look may not definitely tell, all right, who they are until they speak.
Yeah, but also the way they eat. No, not the way they eat, but like the food.
The food,
the food,
Traditional food.
Yeah, because now the Muganda would really prefer matoke, and me if I go there, I'll be like, no, I want enyasa. You know enyasa?
No, do not.
Kalo, locally
yeah.
known as kalo. Yes, I would be like, I want enyasa with obo. You get it, eh? So someone will be like, me I want matoke, no luombo, right? So the baganda.
Yeah.
Then Precious will be like cassava leaves, right?
Precious.
Sombe.
Sombe. So he'll be like, well, she wants sombe.
Sombe.
So I feel like even the traditional foods that someone can want also identifies them.
Okay, thank you very much. I love what Alvin said about the fact that he felt relieved when he found someone that can speak the same language with him. Earlier on, we were talking about how we know Dutch, yes, Dutch, and Chinese and Swahili, and how they have helped us go like international and the like. Bena, I want you to tell us how it feels to like have a sense of belonging, especially when you go out there and you have found someone of you.
Yeah, I feel collaboration is going to be possible. I feel like I'm not alone. I feel like whichever move I've taken, someone else has also taken.
Okay.
And in these other different international communities also, they commune. They have what they call communities. The people who are from Africa, the people who are from different countries, they all have something that brings them together. We've also seen the people from diaspora communing, and also we see Navagerika trying to promote culture.
Yeah.
So when people come together and they are collaborating in understanding, in appreciating their different cultural aspirations, it brings them together. They feel safe. They feel secure. They feel like they are not left or they are not diluted by the presence of different international languages or different international cultures.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.
It is belonging. They feel they have something to belong, like he said.
Well, adding on what Ben has said, I have the experience. Like moving from Congo to Uganda, it was very hard to feel you're at home. Even when you found people that looked like you, were all blacks. But then no one was there speaking our language. So the time we met fellow Congolese, we felt like we're in Congo. So you feel like you're home. You feel like you're with, you are in the family. Why? Because you speak the same language. I understand you, and when I understand you, I feel your pain. You feel my pain.
By your language, you mean French?
No, I mean Kiswahili and Lingala. Lingala is not my language, though Lingala is for the Bangala people from Equateur. But for me, I'm a Munyabwisha. I don't know Kinyabwisha, but I know Lingala, unfortunately.
Lingala is a tribe in
It's a language.
It's a language.
That is for a certain tribe, of which I'm
That's
not
right.
that tribe. Just like she can speak Luganda and she's not a Muganda.
So you did find people that can speak Lingala.
Lingala and Kiswahili.
Here.
So, yeah.
Kiswahili, if you met Kenyan, you would, someone who speaks Swahili in Kenya, you would
I
feel
would
the same
speak
sense
Kenyan
of belonging.
Kiswahili, Tanzanian Kiswahili, but when I speak Congolese Kiswahili, because it is far different and very funny, I feel at home. Tanzanian, I'll force the Tanzanian accent. Kenyan, I'll force the Kenyan words, but I won't feel myself. But when I speak Congolese Kiswahili, there I'm at home. I'm speaking home.
Okay, thank you very much. One of us mentioned something about when you want to say something vulgar in your language and you feel it is too obscene, I can't say it, but when it comes to a foreign language, it's actually very okay. Let's talk about how we think the local proverbs or culture can help us groom the generation today, how understanding our local language and identifying who we are can help in creating morals within the youth and our children. I'll begin with Queen Shamira.
Yeah, so morals are one of the perspectives that we have to look at when we are growing. Personally, I don't know vulgar words in my language. I know some. But I remembered. I know some which are really so. Yeah. So when growing up, how can I speak Luganda?
It is well. It is okay.
Okay. Okay. You know, morals can prompt us not to go astray. Yeah, not to go astray. So when it's self-discipline. Should I say that? Yeah, it's self-discipline. When you're speaking to elders or even relatives or even someone older than you, that you can't speak something. Should I say something heavy, something vulgar to them? So they discipline you in a way that when you're talking to elders, you're not supposed to say some words. Yes.
Okay. Or in public. Alvin, you want to add something about it? You earlier on mentioned about your grandmother and stories.
Thank you. I think based on that, I would say using our local language to say certain words to elders back there in the community, it's kind of limited because you find I've been watching certain movies like from the Western world. Someone tell the mother, "Mom, I love you so much." But back there, sometimes when you tell your mom, "I love you," it's something, it sounds weird, right? Like people already have this mentality that the word love is for people who are in a relationship or something. So I think it would be very interesting, very, very interesting if we speak our language to our elders and tell them exactly what we want to express. Let them realize that we are not going to really be afraid of speaking certain words. If I tell my mom, "Amari," it means I love you, all right? And this is very interesting. I feel like it brings a sense of very beautiful relationship between me and my mom. When I tell her that, "Mom, Amari," it's so interesting. But you find children are always scared of speaking these kind of words, and it hurts me so much. It really, really hurts, and it's not right.
Yeah, that we actually are hurt too, by the way. The whole idea of foreign languages replacing our local languages, it's very unfortunate. But according to you, Bena, what do you think can be done to mitigate or rather reduce on the influence that the foreign languages are having over the native languages?
I think we should promote our local languages. And one way of promoting our local languages is highlighting the significance they have on us. Because there are values that we hold so deeply in our language, in our identity, that when we embrace our culture and our language, we keep our values. We are not polluted. So we have to promote them at home by giving the meaning of what they are. Like, for example, they have so much to do with the discipline of us. Growing up, there are certain things that we would not do. Like, for example, you have to kneel before the elders. You have to be respectful. We say that such aspirations are key, that everywhere you have to respect elders, even when you're speaking Dutch. In fact, for them also on another level, there is a way they identify in their language that there is what you call formal and informal. When you're speaking to your friends' family, there is a way their language is structured, that when you're speaking, there are formats of how to speak to family and friends and also the elders. Yet also here, we had it. So if we raise our children and we tell them that you kneeling will show respect, it will show values of humility in community, that someone will accept you. Oh, so-and-so's daughter, she's like this. Bring her on board. Give her food. So such small values, I wouldn't say small, such key values should be highlighted to our children, because if someone knows the importance of why they do certain things, they'll hold such as key. Because if at all growing up and also going in school, they would tell us that, please, English will take you this far, but also these values, the local language or the local culture preserves you. The children would not be putting it down. I think we would be having so many children or many adults reading the local books, the books promoted. We all know many African writers, the Noah Chebes, there are so many books around us that alongside pursuing other books, also our children will be embracing our local content, our local channels. Much as we also aspire to know the global existence, we should also promote our own through music. Like here in Buganda, we have and in Uganda we have so many artists, and the best way to express their values, their ideas, is music. Even in politics, we see the politicians using the influencers, using the chameleons to run their campaigns. They are using an aspect of culture and language.
I want to chip in a little on that one. You've spoken about music and Chameleon, the legend himself.
Yes.
Yeah, and I want us to appreciate and recognize that he is very, in as much as we love him here at home, he's like very prominent in East Africa.
Yes.
I think majorly because of his songs that are in Swahili. Yeah, which Swahili is not a local language here in Uganda. So do you think that somehow hinders our identity as Ugandans, or us in let me speak for Luganda because he's a Muganda. Does that hinder his identity as a Muganda because he is overly known outside compared to here?
No, it does not hinder.
I think it does.
Okay. I want to hear from Queen Shamira.
In my perspective of why it has not hindered. Back here, he's been prominent because of the local, he's expressed himself in Luganda.
Most of his music is in Swahili.
Yes.
Okay, yes, but also there are hits that he has that are in Luganda.
For example?
I might not give them, but I know our producers here.
Badilisha. Tubonge.
He has Luganda songs, and because we have to also be global out there, you have to identify with the other languages, and that's exactly what the chemistry that he used.
Okay.
Yes, diversity.
Shamira has something to say.
Yeah, why I'm not supporting her answer is because Chameleon is promoting Kiswahili globally. Nigerians.
Yeah.
You cannot ban a boy, he's a Nigerian.
That is
Davido is a Nigerian. Again. So if you really want to promote your culture with the music, I feel like you should do it in your native language. Chameleon, some people, yes, we know he's a Ugandan, but we don't know that he's a Muganda. I personally didn't know that he's a Muganda. Trust me. Yeah, but getting to know Nigerian guys, because they express themselves in their language, and their kind of music is really, how can I say, it's particular. Like, they have a sense of direction in the how they produce their music. They normally produce it in Nigerian language, in their accent, actually even in their accent.
Yeah, I wanted to say something about that.
They don't diverge, not like Chameleon. Nibashingwelo or something like that. So
Well, I think I should add up something on what she has said, but in line with what she said earlier. So I would say, Burna Boy is a Nigerian, but you don't know of which tribe he is. Just like someone can know Chameleon is a Ugandan, but doesn't know he's a Muganda. So I would say Chameleon has really made Uganda to be known. Because whenever we used to listen to Chameleon songs in Congo, we used to be like, this is not Congolese. This cannot be Tanzanian because his Kiswahili is fake. This cannot be Kenyan. So we came to know... I'm sorry. So we came to know that this person is a Ugandan because the Swahili was not Kenyan, was not Tanzanian, was
we
not
have types
Congolese.
of Swahili.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Chameleon was actually promoting Uganda. Just like Burna Boy promotes Nigeria, but not his tribe. But here we're talking about how it promotes you as me. I can say I'm a Congolese. I can speak Lingala. I'm not from Equateur or anywhere. I'm a Munyabwisha. So the fact that I cannot speak Kinyabwisha, I'm not promoting my tribe, but I'm promoting the country. So Chameleon was promoting Uganda in the somehow Kiswahili he tried to speak, which is not Kiswahili. He was promoting the country, and people got to know he's a Ugandan because of the Kiswahili.
Okay, so from my understanding, someone can better promote their culture or their identity through a foreign language. Is that what I'm hearing around here?
No.
Alvin has something to say.
I would say the only way you can promote your culture is by speaking and acting like you're from where you are. Please trust me. I have been to places within the country here.
Yeah.
But then you find that when I really don't feel myself when I try to act like one of them. I make sure I be myself.
Yeah.
I be a man from northern Uganda, from Lira. And you find that this is the only way that someone else who is from where I come from will identify me. All right.
Yeah.
There's a saying which says that be yourself and you will attract the right people. So when I speak my language or when I act, when my accent is like someone who is from northern, I will attract people who are like me. And that's the only way I will save myself. So you can only promote your culture or your language or your roots by acting, behaving, speaking, and looking. Maybe the looks you can change. But then you have to really speak and act like one of you or someone who is from that background. And that's the only way. But speaking in some other language is going to create a false expression of your identity. And this is how...
Yeah, adding on what he's saying, I feel like, the ghetto kids, they know how to dance piano, they know how to dance these other things. But I love the fact that when they went out there, was it Kyukawa, something like that, they were able to do the Maganda dance, the Busoga dance, the
different cultures.
Yeah, the different cultures. In Uganda, they didn't specify to do piano.
But then they were speaking English.
Because it was the native language, because you can't, you couldn't go that side and speak Luganda.
So we can still promote our cultures by acting without speaking the language. I can add on, I think that's what he said. I don't know Kinyabwisha, but I know everything that a Munyabwisha woman should do.
Yeah.
I follow all the steps. However much I know nothing like a Kinyabwisha language, but I know this is how I have to wake up in the morning, this is what I should do, this is what I'm not supposed to do. I learned the Kenyabusha culture in a different language. I learned the Kenyabusha culture in English. In French.
You shouldn't be reluctant or not knowing Kenyabusha.
Yeah, it is something I think we should be working on.
Yeah.
Okay, I've noticed we've like overly been engaging with the youth and everything. All of us are. So, you know how when we talk about languages and whether people want to embrace the local language or not, it comes down to also individuals' identity. We have cases where parents, personally, my dad was very reluctant about taking us to the village. You get, so we would like rarely get to understand our background and everything. However, there are also children. These are now two scenarios. There are also children who do not want to associate themselves with the local language, local identity. They feel it is not cool. Yes. So what do we have to say about that?
Growing up with media, you get.
Yeah.
So I feel like right now 90% of our generation is really so much on media. So I feel like if you really, it's not a getaway, but they can have language apps so that you can
that's
have
a good one.
Yeah, you can have language apps where you can go and be like, okay, I need to learn my language. So I really would encourage them to have language apps and make it like a commitment for them to know their language. Yeah.
Oh, that is very interesting. Yeah. Precious, you have something to say?
Yeah, what I can say is our parents influence what we like and what we don't like. In
Even
one way, no, like I mean, like right now, of course, when you are still young, the way you're raised is the way you grow up.
Yeah.
Like if your parent loves the culture, you'll definitely love your culture as well. If they don't, you won't. My mom doesn't know Kenyabusha. She never spoke any Kenyabusha. How would I have learned Kenyabusha? But if she knew, I'll definitely learn. So our parents have a very, very, very big role to play in the development of our culture when it comes to us, the young generation. Because I got to know what I should do as a woman, a Munyabusha woman, because my mom taught me everything. I wouldn't have learned if she was not there. So our parents should really play their role in the development of our language, most especially when it comes to language. Yeah.
Did your mom teach you Swahili?
And
Chinese?
Of course, I came to learn French from school and Chinese, you know. But then Kiswahili at home, when we were still babies, we could not speak French.
You learning
Kiswahili.
the language, do you think it can also be a personal initiative?
Well, right now, since I've grown, of course, I have to fight for my rights now. I have to fight for myself, so
Your
I have
identity.
to learn. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. Miss Bena, I'm with you. What do you think is your take on the youth and acknowledging or rather embracing their identity?
I would encourage all of us to take our culture and heritage so dear, because that is who we are. And even with others, they would identify with us in our culture, in the way we dress, in the way we speak, in our tone, in our interaction and relationship, coming from that aspect of our languages and culture. So you can't be anyone else. When you value what you have, you even make other people like it. And when you value something, you also tell other people why you value it or how it has brought you to where you are. So we should highlight our culture and its values because it's rich. Even other people copy from it.
Yeah.
Even other people are strong. So we should write and also encourage the youths to love their culture, because even when they go to other places, they'll ask them about their origin. They should be able to promote it.
Miss Bena,
Yes.
now you're looking at a youth that sees culture is old. Again. So I'm this youth that, okay, not I am. I'm
Yes,
an
yes, a
example,
picture.
Yeah, I'm this youth that if I see a lady putting on lubogo, again, I feel like it's witchcraft. I've a lady putting on cowrie shells. It's witchcraft right now.
Yes.
Yeah, witchcraft cowrie shells. So how would you advise that youth to how can I say it?
To
love
appreciate,
To appreciate
their
their culture. Seeing a lady in a gomesi, you'll be like, that's for pregnant old ladies or something
Yes.
like that.
Yeah.
So how would you really advise that you?
If I may, we can direct that question to Alvin. Then we'll have closing.
Okay.
Closing
I'll
shots.
just give a
Yeah.
hint and then Alvin.
Right.
Okay.
Like for example, I talked about the significance and the importance. If you highlight back to the youth that the back cloth was a form of warmth, that was one of the clothes that we had here that could give you the warmth. You say we didn't have all those blankets, but it could give you the best warmth, and that's why they embraced it. So when you give the importance of something, someone will be able to take
understand it
yes,
and
to appreciate
appreciate
it.
Thank you very much, Ms.
Yes.
Bena. Alvin, in just 1 minute.
Well, adding on what she has said, I would really say that the youth of these days, we only need to be reminded of like the perfect direction that we have to really follow, because this is who we are and we shall never run away from it. It flows in our blood.
Yeah.
All right. No matter where we go, no matter the new people that we meet, the new environment that we go to, we shall always be the kind of people that we have been since years back. Like, it's ancestral. It flows in us. So I would just say, let's not abandon the true identity of who we are. This is ourselves, and we can't be someone else. So I would say, for real, we just need a reminder. Either our parents, either our cultural leaders, they have a great work to do, because like youth, they are forgetting their identity. They're forgetting their roots.
Okay, thank you very much. This has been an amazing discussion, very insightful. If it were up to me, it would take the whole day. Yeah, but I want to thank my panelists for having spared their precious time to be here, and to our beautiful viewers and listeners up there, I want to say thank you. Thank you for being with us from the start of the show up to now. This discussion reminded us that language is just not about words, but it is about the soul. It's about us appreciating our culture and identity. Let's be reminded that when we lose our language, we are going to lose our culture. When we lose our culture, we are ultimately going to be losing our identity. But also, because this is TIG Network Africa, where we embrace, or rather appreciate, glorifying and reviving our family values, let us embrace and revive our languages. Let us revive our cultures, because then we are going to revive our identity. Till next time, I remain your host, Ngobi Halima, here at TIG Agenda. And of course, it is UBC Radio. Do not forget to tune in. Till next time, have a lovely day.